All right, guys, so where is my microphone? My microphone's down here. Let's see. Working, yep, it's there. All right, so hello. Test. Check. Microphone level up. Microphone level up. All right, so listen up. One of the things, the next task that you guys are going to have, and you're going to only have, I'm only going to give you 10 minutes to do this, okay? We're going to continue with this charrette fashion, is I want you to analyze the topography that you're seeing up there. And I want you to think about different ways, different zones, right, in the topography, all right? And think about how that's going to affect your perception of how the building is placed there, right? We'll pull the topo model out that's there, and the topo model will be a three-dimensional representation of this. So what can you guys, looking at this topography, what can you tell me are different sort of features?
But you top of the hill?
The highest.
So hold on, I'm gonna move my mouse. You tell me when I'm to the point.
No, on the triangle, there's the rectangle.
Here.
Well,
Here.
Yeah.
Okay, here. I'm gonna start on this corner. So here we go. Tell me when to stop.
Where the square is,
Here.
that's a hilltop. That's a hilltop.
Yeah, and there's one all the way.
Okay, so you guys all agree that this is a geographic feature that can have an impact on how you perceive the building as you come up this road, correct?
Correct.
All right, what else?
There's
So right immediately to the right of that square is a saddle.
So there's a saddle here.
Saddle right there, right.
Okay.
and then
And
down.
then if you go more to the right and lower, then you have another hilltop.
To the right and lower.
Right there.
Boom.
Okay.
Horseshoe.
Is it possible that this whole thing could read as a ridge?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right, so that whole thing can read as a ridge. And so if you were to create something that worked with that ridge line, that would be a unique approach to the design of this vineyard. All right, here's a question for you. Is it possible, what's this right here?
That is a valley.
That's a valley. Do you think you can see much into that valley from the road?
No.
No. Do you think that you might be able to position something that's sort of peekabooing out over the top of the valley that might kind of create a sense of anticipation to where the vineyard is that's inside the valley?
Build something like what? A little teaser, you know? Like you think it's an appetizer, but it's really the entree.
The point I'm trying to make is that would be a valid approach, is to say, I'm going to hide the winery and just put one thing that's visible to the people that are outside of it. Okay, so that's an option, right? We have this whole sort of flat plateau up at the top. That's another geographic feature, correct?
Yeah.
So if we put our building and stuff along up in here, then all of the vineyards would be in the foreground, correct? And this would be framed essentially up against the sky. All right, what else?
You have another ridge line coming down the bottom.
Well, let's look for something really duh and simple.
It's completely
The lower
flat
ones?
or
The
flat.
Wait, what, Frank?
The lowest points?
This lower area?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of a flat area,
Yeah.
right? So this geographically has one sort of character that is not visible in this whole area around it. Okay, good. What about this steep section right here? Is this not the steepest section of the site right there?
Yes.
Does that not form sort of a wall, right, that rises very steeply after coming up this? So is that geographically different than this area or the area above it? Might that have an impact on how you envision your building? Okay. What about a long, skinny line along this edge? Do you guys see maybe the potential for there to be a ridge line along here?
Yeah.
Okay. So the point I'm trying to make to you is that topographically, this site contains a lot of different conditions that I'm going to ask you guys to sort of uncover and quantify and qualify. Give me the qualities as well as the sort of numerical specifics about it, okay? And I want these things to start to factor into where your building is going to potentially be placed. We just did a charrette where you were initially told to arbitrarily just sort of divide the site into 3, 4, or 5 geometric patterns, okay? So the simplest way to do that is to divide it into 3 is just put 3 bands horizontally, right? Or 3 bands vertically. So that's it. It's divided into 3s. Now that's not even thinking about topography. Another way might be to divide it into 4s, and the simplest thing you could do there is to put one going this way and one coming across this way. Now you've got 4 areas. If you were going to do 5 areas, you might think about dividing it first in half this way and split that into 2, and then split this upper larger portion into 3. That gives you 5 vineyards. And though there's 3 scenarios wherein the subdivision of the overall plot of land is driving where the building will go. The building is kind of the second thought, right, in the subdivision of the land. If you think about it, 99% of all houses built in the United States are built using that fashion. Right? They're not cited based on any particular thing. They're cited based on a geometric subdivision of the land. I mean, look at the hills behind us. Look at the hills across the way over there. That's what developers do. They take a land and they break it up into 50 by 100 foot parcels right next to each other. Sometimes they follow the ridge line, but they're basically using a geometry to decide where buildings are going to be located. That's one approach. I don't think it's the greatest approach, but it is a potential approach. And one of the things about that approach is that it allows you to start sort of cognitively understanding the site. The second approach that I gave you, I think was that the instructions were a bit more vague because I asked you to think about, the building as the dominant thing. And so, I guess a really simple way to do that is to put the building in the foreground, put the building in the middle, and put the building in the background. Okay? And so some people sort of might have approached it in that fashion. Now I'm asking you to actually look at the site and start to see how the geography of the site, how the geometry of the site might influence your building. Now you're no longer tied into a building that is a square or a rectangle. Now you can elongate the building. You can turn the building into a geometric shape. You can leave it as a square. So you guys are going to be given a time to come up with 5 scenarios where the building is responding to or accentuating the features of the site. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to let you guys have at it.